I did begin to look at some communities in New Hampshire. One was in Manchester, another one was in Exeter. They were both what you would call type A communities, where you're essentially buying long-term care insurance right off the bat, which you may never ever use. So I also began to look at some others. I ran into someone, met someone who actually was on the priority list here at Brooksby. I'd never even heard of Brooksby, although my daughter does live in Waltham, but I'd never really explored any in Massachusetts. When I did come and visit here, I was very impressed with the way things were run here. It is a fee-for-service community, which makes a lot more sense, I think, for someone like myself. And that basically was how I began to take a look at the Brooksby community, went to some of the luncheons, met a lot of people, both residents and staff members, all of whom were very helpful and useful in getting me involved in seeing what the Brooksby community was all about. And then I finally decided to go on the priority list myself, and after 6 months did in fact select an apartment here.
So the ultimate decision on coming to Brooksby first was becoming age eligible. We could not really move any sooner than we ended up moving because of the minimum age. And at that point in time, my husband's health had declined enough, and I had looked at trying to get in-home care, and we were living in a house that had stairs and kind of cut off anything we wanted to do involved a trip out, getting, takeout dinners, growing groceries, all of that. So as soon as we were I was age eligible, we put a priority, or said that we wanted to be active. And then because we had signed up so soon, we were first on the list, and we got a call within 30 days, and the first place that we were offered was absolutely perfect. It's over in town center, so it's very close to all of the amenities, and it was a good experience from then on.
Carol's here in the TV studio every week, twice a week sometimes, and she is really a media all-star. I taught at Babson for a few years, and then after I retired, I taught in the lifelong learning program at Tufts, and I've continued doing that here. And I teach in the lifelong learning program here. I was on the finance committee at my temple, and so I'm on the finance committee here. And so I'm doing
Philanthropy.
A lot of the same sort of stuff that I used to do. What?
Philanthropy committee?
And the philanthropy committee that, helps with the raising money and parceling it out. So I'm busy doing stuff here, and stuff I enjoy, and stuff that I think contributes.
And I, on the other hand, have different interests. I like to go to lectures here. I'm part of the current events, which meets once a week. The other thing which surprised me was that if you have an idea, you propose it to somebody and you can do it. So I had two ideas. One was creating a program where residents talk about themselves on TV, and basically
Doing about what you're doing to us right now.
it basically, who are you and who were you before Brooksby? And people love it.
The activity guide that they provided gave me the starting point on different places to start with. So I quickly was able to link up with several different craft groups, the gardening, got my garden patch very early on. My husband was able to go to the men's group meeting. And so the days are actually much fuller now with a variety of activities than they were in the house.
I've done a lot of the Live and Learn classes. I'm on the Jewish Council here, and I'm also president of the Hadassah group here. I'm a floor captain for the Canterbury Court Neighborhood Council, and I'm on the Welcome Committee, and it keeps me very busy. There's always a card game, there's always a Scrabble game, there's always some other activity if you don't want to be active in an organization, you just want to sit back and socialize and do the things, playing cards or mahjong they used to do. And there's so many choices that many days, my kids have called up and said, Mom, are you available? And I'd say, no, I'm committed today. I can't see you. And there's just a lot to do. And whether you want to stay home and read a book or you want to go out, I'd say get involved. Come here and go to different things, go to meetings, and volunteer and get involved, and it'll be very rewarding for you.
I didn't feel ready either. But you know what? You'll never feel ready. Were you ready to go to school your first day? Of course not. Your mother took you by the hand and she brought you to school. Were you ready to change high schools if you had to, or to go to college? No, we're never ready. But they make the experience one that you can consider yourself ready. Don't be afraid that you're nervous. Don't be afraid. We all went through this. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's somebody out there who didn't, but I certainly did. I know that I did. But it got resolved, and with the help that I got, Jane called me innumerable times, Laurie called me. This is a great experience, and it is worth every minute of every tear you shed or may shed. I know, I shed them too, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So even if you feel you're not ready, one step in front of the other. That's all you have to do. Call your realtor. Then next call your moving company. Then you need to call Women on the Move or some such, Women in Motion. I think they're all different names. But there are people that will help you through this. Take advantage of it. Find someone in the community that maybe you know from before that would help you with that. And good luck.
We felt ourselves getting old. We felt ourselves feeling the burdens of home ownership. We had that real tough winter a few years ago with the big blizzard, and we had a lot of ice dams problems and all that sort of stuff, which really took the oomph out of living at home. I mean, I was really prepared to live right there, right until the end. But just the chores of being in the house got to me. The idea of getting a guy to clean the gutters and getting somebody else to do this. I did the lawn mowing and raking, but I found that carrying the wood into my wood stove, wood was getting heavier. Someone must have been fixing that or something.
Yeah, it's because we've got an electric stove.
So we got one of these nice little gas electric things. That still didn't quite do it. And it was just getting tiresome. And so we said, we ought to do it while we're young enough to do it and able enough to do it. And so we did.
And the other thing is, many people have also said to me they're not ready. And I always ask them, what does that mean? Because I don't know, I'm not ready. I don't know what it means. Does it mean physically? Does it mean attitude-wise? The reason when we had lived in our house for pretty close to 50 years, and it was a great house and it served us well, but our kids moved and company diminished and it was just too big. And so the other...
Here's something interesting. We had an 11-room house. We were using 3 rooms. Carol had her office downstairs, I had my office upstairs, and then we had the kitchen. Now we're in a 4-room place, so it's really bigger.
So the question, what we were going to do, came up, well, let's go get a condo. I could see no benefit to get a condo, except that...
That I would have voted no on.
Except that you had a maintenance free, but there would be no real benefits unless I decided I want a condo in the Mediterranean or I wanted to go to San Francisco. But to stay around here in a condo, there were no benefits. You're just as isolated. It didn't make any sense to me. So here at Brooksby, when we're on the younger side, you could do everything. And you're not coming here.
There are people older than us who are doing everything too.
That's true.
It's true.
And coming here, you're not just buying an apartment, you're buying a lifestyle. and the lifestyle is phenomenal. It's such an embracing community, and everybody respects you. People don't make judgments, and you can do as much or as little as you want. And the age and the ethnic diversity is something to truly admire. I look at all these people, and I'm friends with people in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and it's wonderful because we are all, at this point of our lives, we're all in the same chapter, but we're all on different pages.
Oh, that's nice. I like
And
that. That's
we
nice.
respect each other for that. And we really, or I, really learn from so many different people that I think they give me so much more than I can really give them. And it's been an amazing experience.
In terms of weather ready, as mentioned earlier, in my case it was getting to the minimum age. And so I had been anticipating doing this for 3 or 4 years before we actually pulled the trigger. And so I had been working on downsizing and figuring out what in the house we were going to keep. We had the good fortune that we moved before, so we weren't dealing with a lot of heirlooms and things like that. And I had developed a list of different places that I would want things to go. So we did it basically as soon as we were able to.
Go sooner. I would have, looking back, I definitely would have come here 2 or 3 years before I did. I just felt so accepted. It's such a friendly community, and it fulfills so much of your needs here that I'm sorry I didn't come sooner. Don't hesitate. I would say to people, come and you will see you will love it.